Okay, so today we're going to cover some more word problems, but today we're going to cover cost, income, and value problems. Up here at the top are some formulas that are going to help you with some of the problems in this homework. So whenever you see the word cost, what that means is the number of items times the price per item. So for example, if you were going to the store and you were buying 5 pencils and each pencil cost 25 cents, you would take the number of pencils, which was 5, and then multiply that by the price, which could have been a quarter, and then you would find out that it would be $1.25. For income, it's the hours worked times the wage per hour. The wage means the amount of money you make per hour. So let's say you have a job and you make $10 an hour, and let's say you work for an 8-hour day, you would do 8 times 10, and you would make $80 for the day. And then the other formula is total value. So again, number of items times value per item. Very similar to cost. So when you see total value, think of sort of like cost, but it's the number of items times the value. So let's look at our first example here. And it says tickets for the senior class play cost $6 for adults and $3 for students. A total of 846 tickets cost or were worth $3,846. They want us to find out how many student tickets were sold. So again, they are giving us the chart. They've set it up for us. So let's go ahead and let's start filling in the box. So notice the last thing we read was how many student tickets were sold. So that is going to be my variable. So I'm going to put an X in there. Notice the price per ticket, this middle column. We already know how much each one of the tickets cost. We know student tickets cost $3 and adult tickets cost $6. Now, we also know that we sold a total of 846 tickets. So to get the number of adult tickets, what we're going to do is take that total and subtract the number of student tickets. So that's going to be in terms of our variable X. So we're going to write that 846 minus X. Now again, remember the formula for cost is number times price. So again, I'm going to multiply straight across the row. So X times 3, and my cost there is going to be 3X. And then I'll multiply across the row for adult, and I'm going to represent it as 6 times the 846 minus X. I'm not going to distribute it yet. So here, all I know is that I've sold 846 tickets. I collected an amount of $3,846, and I know that the cost per ticket. So now what I'm going to do is write an equation. So I know that the student cost plus the adult cost should give me that much money. Now, I know that I've sold, so I'm going to take this last column and I'm going to add. And this is how my equation is going to be. Because the cost for this student is going to be 3X. So this right here comes from here. The adult ticket is going to come from here. And now I'm going to set it equal to the total amount of money that they collected for selling these tickets. So now I need to begin to solve this, which is step 4. I'm going to distribute, and then I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to distribute the 6 to the 846, and I get 5,076. Distribute the 6 to the X, and then rewrite the answer here. I'm going to group my 3x and my 6x, and it's at 3x minus 6x, so I get negative 3x. Plus 5,076 equals 3846. I'm going to subtract the 5,076 from both sides, and I get negative 3x equals negative 1,230. I'm going to divide by negative 3, and I find out x is 410. Remember from my chart, x represents the number of student tickets. So the number of student tickets is 410. The number of adult tickets, remember from my chart, it's going to be 846 minus x, and x was 410. So the number of adult tickets is going to be 436. So 436 adult tickets. Okay, so again on the quiz, you should be labeling what the numbers are that you just solved for. You're going to be giving me the equation and also filling in the table. Let's go ahead and try to fill in the tables for the 2 oral exercises. So here we have the first oral exercise says, Marley makes $5 an hour working after school and $6 an hour working on Saturdays. Last week, she made $64.50 by working a total of 12 hours. How many hours did she work on Saturday? So I'm going to go in and fill in my chart. Now, in yours, they actually use the letter S for Saturday. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just use the same letter they have. Again, you can choose your letters. I don't like S's because they look like 5s. It also told me that she made $6 an hour by working on Saturdays, and then $5 after school. Those are weekdays. And then it told me she worked a total of 12 hours. So for my weekday hours, I'm going to do 12 minus S. And then the income, remember, is hours worked times wage. So 6S and then 5 times 12 minus S. And now to solve this, the equation we would set up, because that's what it's also asking us to do, would be to take the 6S, the Saturday amount, plus the weekday amount, and we knew she made a total of $64.50. And then if they ask you to solve it, then you would distribute and combine like terms. Let's try the next one. Let's just get it set up. So for the next one, we're seeing that we're purchasing, or Ernesto is purchasing a total of 100 postage stamps, and he's spending he spent $9.90. It says half of them were 1 cent, the rest were 14 and 22. And it wants us to find out how many 22-cent stamps did he buy. So here, the 22-cent stamps, that's going to be my variable. That's the number of stamps. Now, notice up at the top here it said half of the 100 were 1 cent stamps. So the number of 1 cent stamps that he bought was 50. And then the rest were the 14 and the 22. So now to represent the 14, I'm going to put in 50 minus X, because that'll be the remainder. Now we already know the cost for all of these. This was 1 penny. This was 14, and this is 22. Now notice the hint here. It's telling us not to use a decimal point. So just to put it in as 1, 14, and 22, and then instead of putting in 9.90, we're going to just use it as 990. And then from there, we're just looking for the number of stamps. Okay, so then straight across, 50 times 1, the cost is 50 cents or 50. Then here I've got to distribute, so it's going to be 14 times 50 minus x. I'm not going to solve, I'm just going to show what I get. And then 22 times x. So again, if we were to set up our equation, we're going to take each one of those. So we're going to do the 50 plus the 14 times the 50 minus x plus the 22x, and it equals 990. And I think I'll have time to solve it. So let me just go ahead and distribute. So 50 stayed the same. 14 times 50 gives me 700. 14 times the negative x gives me negative 14x plus 22x equals 990. I'm going to group my like terms here. So these are like and these are like. So when I add the 50 and the 700, I get 750. And then negative 14 plus 22 is 8x. Subtract 750. 8x equals 240. Divide by 8. And x equals 30. So there will be 22 cent stamps. Because remember, x represented the number of 22 cent stamps. And that's what it asked for. So your homework is going to be 1 through 18 all again. And then tomorrow we'll go over these charts again, and then we will review for your quiz.